Good morning, everyone. Okay, so the security part is completed, and I just wanted to explain it again because security is not that much easy, and you can ask me any doubts regarding the flow issue. Just wanted to, I will explain it again and again. Anyone wanted to raise their hand and go with? Hmm? No one wanted to? Okay, thank you, Giridhar. But still, I have some questions for everyone. So, we are actually passing username and password as a JSON body. Can we reduce the steps also? Right now we are using, you know, authentication manager dot authenticate, and then we are using username password authentication token, and then we are passing the username and password with comma separated variables to that particular class, right? I am not sharing anything, guys. Okay. If you don't ask anything, probably you'll be in confusions a lot of times. Okay. Anyhow, it's up to you. I don't have any, I don't want to disturb anyone. Okay, let me share my screen first. Sorry for the late today. I forgot that 9 a.m. in the morning there is a meeting. Okay, so I forgot about that, and I forgot about what is the time also. Okay. Here in the user service, right? So probably if I just go to this, I'll discuss about the last step as a shortcut. Okay. So here, if you just see here, so we are actually using dot authenticate. And we are passing the, you know, username and password to the username password authenticated token. Okay. So I just wanted to, get the authentication directly as a parameter over here without at the reference body. Can we do that? Hmm. So my question is, right now from the login request DTO, we are actually passing the username and the password as a JSON body, right? And we are actually, calling the authentication manager authenticate method, and we are passing the username password. authentication token with the username and password as a data in order to get an authentication object. So this authentication is an inbuilt security related core package interface. Okay. So now I don't want these steps at all. And I just want the authentication directly. Okay. Fine. And I don't want to, so, and I don't want to use this authentication manager, correct? And there you go. Will this work? Yes, this works. Okay. So let me tell you how this works. Okay. So let me go and start the service registry first. Hmm. Run. Okay. And then probably we will start the user service application in debug mode. Okay. Let's see what happens now. So previously, if you see that, since when we use authentication manager dot authenticate of username password authentication token, we're passing the username and password as parameters. So our user detail service was called this one, right? So now if I just submit the username and password from the postman, let's see what happens now. Okay. No need to give. Authentication is interface buddy sir. Yes, sir. At the rate request body is used for custom classes, sir, not for interfaces, sir. Okay. So let me, this is the one, right? Auth login and body as none. I'm not passing any body. And if you just go to authorization, there is something called basic auth. And here we do have a form. Submit the data right now and let's see. Can you see this directly? The load by username is called. And also you can see that So here I just wanted to go stepwise. And I just wanted to, you know, good. And I just wanted to go to the next step. And path login error 404. What is the problem here, right? So if you just ask me truly, we were actually using this process, correct? Right. So we need to call 8765 forward slash, where is this? This is users, right? Oh, I have kept this or so click, good, good. So now we have got this generation token. If you just see this one, we do have username password authentication token with username and password. Since we are not creating any, since we are not using authentication manager like this, and we are not preparing any username password authentication token, this was commented code, but in the background, right, in the background, we don't have to perform these steps. Got it? From line number 26 to line number 29. If we actually keep the parameter as authentication, it will do these steps automatically in the background, if you ask me truly. Okay, so these steps are automatically generated by Spring Security internally if we are using authentication as parameter for login endpoint. Got it? So this is one you need to know. Okay, and I just wanted to paste this as a comment so that you can just go through about this. Okay, got it? That's it. That's what I just wanted to explain. Yeah, okay, that's it, sir. Okay. And we can remove this. So that's what I just wanted to explain. Okay. So here, so let me complete this call and then it is going to generate a token and we are going to get a token directly from this, right? So this is what it happens in the background. So whenever we are actually using this security configuration code, here we have automatically set this custom user details service to the authentication manager. We don't have to use auto also over here because it will be called internally by the Spring in order to call the custom user details service load by username and verify the username and password. don't think that we are actually finding the user by username, but in the background, it has something called, it is returning user details where it is getting the password, and it is actually going to compare the text password with the encrypted password explicitly in the background. Okay, implicitly, sort of not explicitly, implicitly in the background. Okay, so this code is not at all mandatory in the auth API, so you don't have to worry about it because all these steps are automatically done by the Spring security internally. You don't have to inject it, and you don't have to use it inside your login endpoint. But if you just keep authentication as a parameter directly for this post mapping login endpoint, then probably everything will be, done by the Spring security internally, and you don't have to worry about it. So this is one of the shortcut. But if I just share the shortcut in the first time, then probably you will not be able to understand anything. Got it? So that's the reason I just wanted to discuss this one also so that you will be aware of what is happening internally. Just keep in mind that, so when you are working with Spring Security, especially the Spring Security 6.x version, the only thing that you need to keep in your mind that authentication manager. So in the security configuration, you need to prepare the authentication manager. Okay, so there is something called DAO authentication provider, and you can also use this one. Right? So this is a WAC. So this is a type inference feature provided by the recent version. So we can actually use this one also instead of, you know, um, the actual type on the right side. So sometimes we do have something called list of, list of, map of, and all this kind of things, right? So instead of that, we can actually keep map, and probably we can return that um, uh, variable with this directly. So to eliminate a lot of some nested code, so we can actually use var. Okay, so this is one of the type inference feature. And here, the first thing you need to do, DAO authentication provider, you need to create, and then to this DAO authentication provider, only two parameters we need to set. What is the custom, the user detail service, since it is expecting the user detail service, which is basically an interface over here. Can you say this, right? I just wanted to implement the custom user detail service with the load by username, and I just wanted to use the user repository to load the user by username, and then probably it actually compares the password also internally by Spring. And we need to set the password encoder so that it will use the encoding mechanism to compare the passwords that we have sent from our side, and also the password which is stored in the database. Okay, so this is what it is actually doing in the background. Okay, so and once we set all these things, then probably we do have to create, the instance of provider manager. So finally, we need to return the provider manager, because if you just see this provider manager, this provider manager implements the authentication manager. So finally, we need to return provider manager. This is an implementation class for authentication manager. And that's the reason this authentication provider manager is being passed as a parameter after setting all these parameters like the user detail service and the password encoder to the provider manager class constructor. And when we actually hit this endpoint, login endpoint, it understands that, hey, this is the authentication object. So Spring Security understands that, hey, I need to use authentication manager. So let me see in the security configuration, hey, he has defined the authentication manager bean. So how do I verify the credentials? Hey, he has set the user detail service, and also he has set the password encoder. So let's say if I just don't want to set the password encoder. So now what happens? Let me restart the application first, and let's see what happens now. Now, if I just run this application directly instead of debugging, so it will not be using the password which is encrypted in the database. Okay, so it will never be true, and the authentication itself will fail. So let's see that in action. Okay, and send this, and we will be getting the token super, but here, can you see this? It's authenticated user, right? And here it is not at all, we are not at all actually using the set password encoder, right? And but we have created the bean of it, so it will use it internally. But if I just uncomment this code for now, and enter this out. I just wanted to comment this out, okay? Shortcut code, okay? I just wanted to comment it out, and then I just wanted to this one. And if I just stop the application and run it again, and now let's see what happens now, okay? And now we need to pass the DTO as a parameter, okay? Now let's see what happens. Good, it started. And instead of authorization, no auth, let's go to the body, and I will just choose the raw. Good. And then I'll just want to send it. There you go. It is 401 unauthorized. So I said, right? So whenever we are using this code, authentication manager dot authenticate in explicitly, this is explicitly, right? So it actually sees in the security configuration whether we have set the password encoder or not. If we are not setting the password encoder, then you have fallen into error scenario. Okay, so you need to uncomment it, and then you need to run this again. So this is the overall advantage, guys, you are going to get. Okay. But if it is not using password encoder, so how can you say that custom user detail service also we need to set? We will also see that, guys. Okay. 1 second. Because without knowing all these things, I cannot conclude with security part. You need to understand everything from the scratch. Okay. So send it now. Now this will be authenticated. Guys, what is happening? So why it is not working? Any reason for this? Anyone? Why it is not working? Why we are actually getting this request body, login request GTO. We are actually using the authentication manager. And then what is happening, guys? Why this is not working? So previously it was working, right? So here, can you see this? Bearer token matcher. And ignore media types. What is the reason behind? So delegating authentication entry point, securing users /login, but it is not at all even hitting our endpoint. So can you tell me what is happening over here for our endpoint? So everything is good, right? So why it is not working? That's the question. Anyone? Huh? Yes. Sir, everything is same, sir. It is not working at all. Correct? So why it is not working, guys? So can we start this in debugging mode? Okay, let's start this in debugging mode. Hmm. Hmm. So now we are getting some errors. Why? Because this is related to our, yeah. So this is related to only the user service is getting started. So we need to start this one as well. Okay. Because user service needs service history, right, in order to start. So that's the only thing. And let me start it again once it starts. And now I'll just start the user service. Okay. Now I'll just call this directly. It is 401 unauthorized. Okay. And now I'm just going to give this code to everyone. So you need to resolve from your side what is happening and what is not. Okay. Yes, Divya, definitely. Okay, so probably I will just talk to you right now. 1 second. So this is not at all working. Okay, so probably you can see that it is 401 unauthorized, and why it is unauthorized, I don't know, but you need to test it up from your side. Everything is there over here. Okay, so you need to use it exactly the same wise. Okay, so that's the total idea. And I just wanted to stop all, and I just wanted to give this application with errors. Okay, I just wanted to give only the user service so that you can replace it in your system. Okay, so compare the previous code along with this latest code so that you will understand what is happening behind the scenes. And I will just open the Telegram. And okay, just compare this code with the yesterday's code and let me know what are the issues. Okay. So this is the task for you for today, because I just wanted to, discuss security a lot because security is very important during the interviews also. And still, there is some bit of code that we need to write from API gateway level also for the security, because security application cannot be accessed directly. It has to be accessed only through the API gateway. Okay, so that's the total idea. Okay, Divya. Okay, you can draw first. Hey, Pianra.
Yeah, hi, sir. Good morning,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, hi.
Sir, this is regarding the Eureka server, the question what I'm asking.
Mm, 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 mm.
Sir, so yesterday we were discussing about this, clients no need to have the URL of the server.
Right.
Sorry, sir. So, sir, actually in production, the Eureka server is maybe on other machine and all the clients are on some other machine. So in
Right.
that case, so how the clients would know that Eureka is in that particular IP so that it get registered? So that's my question.
Okay. See, in that particular case, right? So probably we do something. We do something. Use something called default zone, where we actually give the exact Eureka server URL in the default zone in the client services YAML file.
Okay, so that's mandatory, right? So in case if they are
That is
in different
mandatory, but
machines.
right
Okay.
now, yeah. So, but again, I'm saying this thing, right? So when we are actually maintaining some services along with Eureka server in the same set of application, that means right now all these applications are there, and then we have given the @ enable Eureka client. So this is a local machine, and this works exactly the same. But in real time, we need to give the location of the Eureka server exactly in the service YAML file with the default zone location with URL. Otherwise, it will not be able to. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So that means if it is in the local machine or in the same machine, if all the services are there, so
Yeah.
no
So
need to give the,
probably if you have seen that, we have not
yeah,
given any default zone
given.
locations, right? So
Yes.
in real time, we need to give it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Divya.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Hi, Divya.
How are you doing, sir?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Tell me.
Yeah, sir. In my situation, I used to work as secure code reviewer before, in BofA, like Bank of America, in 2 years ago, I think so.
Mhm.
So there, I used to do code review in all frameworks, like I think it's MVC framework. It seems.
Mhm.
So I'm really curious to know about the Springboard. I'm actually new to this framework. So here I'm just noticing you're successfully handling a CSRF token and also this authentication issues and all. But what about other vulnerabilities, sir? Like maybe you can, I think you know the cross-site scripting, something like that. There are so many vulnerabilities, right?
Yes, so we do have
Uh,
something called cross-origin request, you know,
uh,
so we do have cross-origin resource sharing, course issue, all these
uh-huh.
things. So once so we already have the front-end application, but
Mm-hmm.
once we are actually done with the security part. Okay, so right now we need to go with the Angular location where we need to call our backend APIs, and we'll
Uh-huh.
see different issues, what issues that we are going to face, and how we are going to resolve it in the or at the API gateway level. So still those things are pending, so you don't have to worry about it. So we'll just
Mm-hmm.
go through this session management, why we need to use stateless sessions,
Mm-hmm.
especially in terms of microservices, and also
Mm-hmm.
the course related issue, how we can resolve it at a centralized place instead of for individual services. All these kind of things will be covered because those are still pending from our side. We will just do it. Okay. And
Yeah,
yeah.
but you still receive the security related vulnerabilities even though you applied all the security checks. How do you handle all those in real time
That's what I said,
scenarios, sir?
right? So that's what I said, right? So um, so you just see my screen, right?
Uh,
That's
yeah.
the reason. So we are actually using this certificates. So let's say there is a hacker. Okay, there is a
Mm-hmm.
hacker in between.
Mm-hmm.
He just got our token.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so will he be able to do anything?
Uh, no, if there is a
No,
token, if
exactly. They can do anything with the token if they have got the token with all the
mm-hmm.
details. But
Mm-hmm.
if he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have this private key or public
Private.
key, he will not be able to do anything. This is something called the encryption that I have provided, and we don't have to worry about other kind of security vulnerabilities. This is completely a token which is encrypted with RSA encryption mechanism, which is a strong encryption standard for the tokens that we are going to follow. And no one will be able to hack it unless they have the public key or a private key with them.
Okay. So what about SQL injection, which we heard before, but now in Spring Boot, will you be getting this kind of vulnerabilities? Like,
SQL injection will come only when we are using application.properties file, not AML files. Okay,
uh-huh.
so probably we will, sometimes even if you give username and password, there are some ways for hackers in order to get the properties file and keep some semicolons, and then they use
Mm-hmm.
some scriptings from
Mm-hmm.
the hacker's side in order to access the database complete information, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So how they will be able to do if they're not having our private or public key? They will never
So
be able to do it.
sir, one small question.
Hmm?
I just wanted to know from a real-time scenario, like you work in the environment, development environment, right? So day-to-day life, how the security is handled? You still be facing all this kind of vulnerabilities daily, or you just see only few vulnerabilities?
See, there are so many vulnerabilities, Divya, but probably the best and standard way. I think probably if you see this kind of encryption mechanisms, so probably if you just go and refer any of the articles, they were using some, OAuth2 token or JW2 token. They are just generating it from the code, and there is no security for those tokens, first of all. Okay, and here we are actually encrypting a lot of data. So right now we are encrypting only the data of the token, which contains
Yeah.
credentials, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we are
Mm-hmm.
not sending any passwords and all these details, only the username and the roles or authorities that we are going to have with the token, right? So
Yeah.
this is what
Yeah.
we are going to do finally, right? But
Mm-hmm.
there are so many mechanisms like RSA and SHA-256, right? So all these algorithms are there to
Uh-huh.
protect our applications from hackers. Okay. And one of
Yeah.
the standard mechanism is RSA encryption along with PKCS12. So this is what I was, you can actually go through this help.md file. And
Mm-hmm.
first of all, understand this specific. What is this PKCS8?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you will be able to understand how this is much secured from the hacker related perspective side. Just go through
Okay.
PKCS8 first. Or you can use
Okay.
ChatGPT tool and ask
Uh-huh.
about this PKCS8. Do we get any security vulnerabilities related to PKCS8? Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
there's so many things we can explain, but that are out of scope. But probably if you just wanted to explore something, so probably you can just ask why we need to use RSA encryption and why we need to use PKCS8
Mm-hmm.
RSA
Okay.
like that to ChatGPT, and it will give some suggestions to you, and you can follow along with it.
Uh-huh. So earlier, we used to update monthly, security complaints we have. So there, we will be having a 40 days of scanning and all, CVE updations and all.
Mm.
So in coming to the Springboard application, how this all monthly complaints will be handled, like security. You will be indulging in all kind of this scenarios in every month, or regularly, or once in your 3 months, or 4 months, like
Not
that.
at all,
Just wanted.
Divya. So we will developers will never include in that. So probably
Mhm.
right. So we have something called ethical hackers in each and every company. Okay.
Okay.
So
Uh-huh.
they know how to protect these applications, and they will provide an extra layer, and they do write some scripts to
Mm-hmm.
protect their applications. Even unless we even provide RS encryption, there are some chances that hackers will use some scriptings from their
Mm-hmm.
side in order to hack it. So that's the reason for each and every application, there is an extra protection layer from the ethical hacking team. So each and every company has an ethical hacker. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. But
We provide more layer
you
for
will be involving in the calls, or only they
no,
will
no, that is
handle and.
completely a different part, right? So
Mm-hmm.
developer will
Okay.
never include it in those calls. Those are
Mm-hmm.
security related things, and how developers will be included in those calls, right?
Uh,
So ethical hacking is a
we
separate.
actually we used to have like that, so I'm just asking out of curious
Okay, so let
for
me
the
tell you one
Springboard
thing,
application.
Divya. So let's say
Mhm,
even if the developer is going to involve in that call, he will not be
mhm.
able to, understand about the terms and terminologies, right?
Yeah, but um, uh, yeah, that's right. But no, at the time we used to have a calls, and we used to apply,
That
we used to explain
that's
every
yeah, that
scenario
is that is
to them.
really good, Divya. But from developer side, there are some constraints also. Okay, so from
Mhm,
developer or from the application development side, we are
mm,
actually providing some set of security. But
mhm,
again, on top of that, they do have some other teams to integrate, security kind of
mhm.
uh, uh, constraints to be added to the application. Okay, so let me tell
Okay.
you one more thing. So let's say
Mhm,
right now, as a developer, I have written the code, but how this release is happening. So developer
mhm.
involves in release activities. Yes, in some companies it is. So where he will be involved in DevOps related kind of things like CI/CD and all these kind of
Yeah.
things.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
it actually varies from company to company.
Okay.
It's
Uh-huh.
not mandatory that he has to be included in security, but
Mhm,
if
mhm.
there are if the team is really the less, and then probably it's a startup, and probably you'll be
Mhm.
getting a chance to involve in all those kind of activities.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay, so but it's
Yeah.
very rare, and it's very secured also, because no one will allow, or no one from the management will allow the developers to involve in this security discussion, what kind of things are discussed and what kind of extra layer of security that they can implement for this particular kind of application. All these are top secrets, so they cannot, involve developers in this kind of discussions. It's a separate call. Even if it is a normal discussion, it will happen, but behind the scenes, there is, a lot of layers that they are going to add, and that is completely abstracted away from the developers.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think now I got my answer because I just wanted to know how this Springboard application is handled and the
That's what
security
I'm
wise,
saying, right?
something
So
like that.
even
Yeah.
right now, this is imagine that this is 90% of the security implemented with lot of standards, RSA encryption, public key, private key concept,
Yeah, yeah.
and PACS 8. So let's imagine only 90% of the security is achieved, but still 10% the other team will do it.
Yeah.
They know how to do it, but I don't know how they are going to do it and what kind of. So they will be using something called the mappings, the ethical hacking script mappings.
Yeah,
With that,
there is also manual and
yes, right.
some automation,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
and see,
Yeah.
for every company there is a the cyber developers, right? So they will be able to do whatever they just wanted to do from their side. A lot of
Yeah.
things. Okay, so from the application side, as a developer, we need to think only at this particular only at to this extent only we need to think. So remaining things, if you just go in deep, so probably
Okay.
it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense because we are not part of any hacking team or any team which is responsible for adding some other layers of security to the present application.
Yeah, yeah. And I thought now I'm switching my domain and as a developer. So I just wanted to know, will it be like a plus point for me or minus for me? Because earlier I used to work as a secure code reviewer. That's it. That's a manual code review. But now it's a complete switch for me for coming to the development thing. So I just wanted to relate that and this. Will it be a plus point for me or it's not relate to me now, or I should only work for development?
No one will
Yeah,
stop you if you just wanted to come to the development, right?
yeah,
So if
yeah,
you just wanted to be a developer, you can actually be a developer.
yeah, yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I
Yeah.
got my answer. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Divya.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, and I'll meet you tomorrow at the same time. PN Rao, tell me, sir.
Sir, like if you have time, we'll go. I have one
No
question.
problem. Tell me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you. Sir, like actually in corporates nowadays, they are using IAM management tools. Like
Yes.
we have a key clock, ping,
Hmm.
CM. So these are how they are different from our implementation. Like we are implementing JWT or what, right, sir? So how they are different, sir?
Hmm. So we have not discussed that yet, right?
Okay, okay, okay.
The AWS part is already there, so don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah. So probably, Divya, when we are using cloud, then probably I will just put some more light on that when we are using AWS. So probably you'll get more idea how that is secured and how we are going to implement. Okay. So not only for a single service we are going to implement security, but there are a lot of applications in our, the company. How we are going to protect it is a challenge. So that's where cloud came into picture, and it resolves so many kind of, uh, okay. So how we are going to handle all those kind of things, we'll see that once we use the cloud infrastructure, AWS. Okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay then. Bye and have a great day. And I will meet you tomorrow at the same time. Bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you.